Welcome to Afrikaans, the very easy, simple and interesting way. I'm Mrs Coetzee and today I'm going to teach you Verklein Woorde. That is to make a word small in Afrikaans. Please remember to share, subscribe and like, and let's do this. Okay, today we are going to look at Verklein Woorde. That is how to make a word small in Afrikaans, and in English you call that diminutives. Now in Afrikaans we have two basic endings when we make a word small. We've got the TJIE or the IE. I want you to rather pronounce it to yourself. Say ki and e. Then it'll help you when you sort out your endings when you do assessments. So remember, in plural we had three basic endings, the S, the E and the TE. But now we have these two basic endings, the ki and the E. I gave you some examples there. Now I'm going to teach you yet another 6 rules, but this time how to make a word small. Okay, the first rule is exactly the same as in plurals, but just slightly different. So when you have a long vowel in plural, when your second last letter, look at man, when your second last letter is a long vowel, 2 A's, 2 O's, 2 U's, 2 E's, then in plural we just took one vowel away and we added an E. It's not that simple, unfortunately, here. What you need to do is you first need to decide between your two endings, because your ending will determine what you do with that long vowel. If you use the long ending, TJIE, you don't say mani, you say man ki, then you keep the long vowel. I always say then the ending is long and the vowel in the middle is long. You keep both long. But if you say, you don't say siep ki, you say siep. So you use the short ending, the IE ending, and therefore you make the word short in the middle as well by taking one of the vowels away. So be careful of the long vowel. You can't just jump in there and do it. You first need to decide on your ending, because that will determine what you do with your vowel. That is the long vowel rule. Then we get to the short vowel rule. Now in plural you just doubled the last letter and add an E. Now here again, when your second last letter, look at lam, look at bis. It's a single A, E, I, O or U. It's just like in plural, you double the last letter, you double the N, you double the S. Can you see that? But now you must learn. You double the last letter and then you've got a choice between iki or E. As I say, pronounce it, don't spell it, so that you can hear it, okay, when you say it to yourself in assessments. So do you say lam E or lamiki? You can hear it's iki. Do you say bis iki or bis si? You can hear it is E. So all you need to learn is the rule. You need to know if there's a single short vowel as your second last letter, you double the last letter and then your choice, you need to choose between iki and E. And that is rule 2, your short vowel rule. Now we get into the M rule. The moment a word ends on M, you give it P-I-E. I call it pie, okay? So remember, look at Wurm. The second last letter is a R, so you give it a P-I-E. The same with Arm. Look at Boom. There's a long vowel, so you keep the long vowel, you just add P-I-E. So with any other letters or consonants or a long vowel, you just add P-I-E. But before you add the P-I-E, then just check, look at lam, whether there is not a short vowel in front of your M. Because guys, if there is a short vowel, you can't do rule 3. You need to do the short vowel rule, and that is rule 2. And I'm not going to explain that again. We've dealt with that one. You double the last letter and it is E or iki. So all words, you can look there. Boom, there's a short vowel. Dum, there's a short vowel. So you do rule number 2. But any other M words, words ending in an M will get a PIE, except for your short vowel. Right, that is rule number 3. Rule number 4 is when a word ends on an ing or an ing. What do we do? Now listen carefully to this one. Look there at the examples. Koning, ring, pisang, tang. ing or ing. You've got a choice. You learn this. K-I-E and drop the G. Or iki. Now this key, don't get mixed up. This key is not the same as TJIE. TJIE you say here in your mouth, key. This one you say in your throat, key. And that is the only place we use a KIE, is when a word ends on ing or ing. You teach yourself, you learn that the ending that you can use, you choose between ki. Do you say tang ki or tang iki? You see, we use the iki. In toering, do you say toering iki or toering ki? You see the ki sound, the soft sound here in your throat. And when you use a KIE, you drop the G of toering. Remember this rule? It's a difficult rule, but learn it well. It's important. Then, my favorite rule, I call this the DT rule. Okay? So when you put someone on detention, you all know what demerits are, what DT is. Okay? So that's when you're not doing your thing and then the teachers call you back in the afternoon to redo your work or as punishment. So remember, this is the DT rule. Whenever a word ends on a D or a T, you just give it a JIE. Look at those red crosses. That is to warn you. This is a very, very important rule, and we ask this one a lot. So don't worry, the moment your word ends on a D or a T, you don't give it a TJIE. You don't say DT. That's why I say don't put it on DT. You just add a JIE. When it ends on a D, look at Hunt, JIE. When it ends on a T, JIE. And that is rule 5. Then we get to the last rule. This is rule 6. They're exactly the same as plural. When a word ends on a single, look at alibi. I owe or you. I owe you something. Right? You give, in plural, you give it apostrophe S. Here you give it apostrophe TJIE. Also look at the two media ones, the same as in plural, but now you put apostrophe TJIE with video and radio. The A words exactly the same as plural. This whole slide is exactly the same as plural, but just instead of comma S or apostrophe S, you put apostrophe TJIE. Remember what I told you in plurals about the A? It's just pa, ma, or hurrah. Any version of pa and ma and hurrah. So you see, but not oma and opa. Okay, you see pa, ma, stiefma, skoonma, peetma, the same with pa and hurrah. All your other A words, massa, tema, drama, baba, pada, they will all get a normal TJIE. Now the last one, there's always words not following the rules, and you must learn this very, very well. They are exceptions. Now I've got a little story for you once again about the pat, the gat, the vat and the blood. Now this is very easy, the end, it's a DT rule. Can you see? Blood, vat, gat and pat. It ends on a D or a T, so you give it a JIE. So the ending is no problem. It is the DT rule. But you double the A. Let me give you the story quickly. Now I usually say in the road there's a hole caused by a big barrel that fell off a lorry, and now it's covered with a new surface. They've put a new tar surface on the road. They covered the hole. So I always say, you remember it this way. In die pad is a gat caused by a vat, a big barrel fell off a lorry, and now it's covered with a new blood. Please learn them very well. And then the other ones that look at fro, there's no problem there. When there's two different vowels together, you just do your ending. And glass, remember I told you about glass. Don't touch the glass, there's a hole in it. There is a hole, there is touch, and the glass. You don't double the S. When a word looks small already, look at Mandjie and Macy, you just add a TJIE. It's not small. We won't give you a small and ask you to make it small. So you just add a TJIE, and that is the small of children. Okay, sorry, it should be kindjie with JIE, and the plural is kindertjies. Now, last thing, plurals. You cannot make plural words small. Remember this. You can't say skoolietjie. You make it singular first, then you apply your rule. This is rule 1, the long vowel rule. And because we gave you plural, you add a S to give us plural back. Remember, it's very important. Like poet, you can't say poetetjie. Okay? You need to make it one first, then small, and then put back a S to give us back plural. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial, and please remember to like, share and subscribe, and remember, shift your learning as always.